8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end. I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first, go through due process second.
Well, I say go fuck yourself. Then ask who questions could I kill a man? I would enjoy myself. You can't disguise evil eyes that burn a hole in my head. This devil man and his master plan. We feel so misled, so I say, rise up, take all back. Rise up, take it all back. Rise up. Hope you all understand. We got to take it all back again.
These people are not going to take it any longer. We will never give up. We will never concede. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. But go home and go home in peace. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. You do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? We have Gerald in the house. We have Broken Patriot in the house. We had a few others in the house, and then they all left, and then they came back. I don't understand. I welcome everybody. How you doing? Happy Monday? I don't even- I'm Broken Patriot. How was your weekend? It was good. Still have a few things I didn't get to this weekend to get done around the yard. Yeah, I had a new intro. Well, same song, but with new stuff in it to do. And I haven't gotten it done. It is in the process of being done, but I was going to finish it up this weekend, and I got a little bit overextended. Promised too many people that I would do too many things. Anybody else have that issue? Every time I think about, I got too much on my plate. I need to take stuff off my plate. Remember when I was doing the dragon a little bit, and I really wanted that to take off because I wanted other people to get involved in it as well. It ended up just being me, and I was like, I don't want to do that. And it was an extra commitment that I was going to do. So I eventually like I'm gonna stop doing that, and I'm just gonna have Sundays off. I'm not playing the games with the friends on in England anymore on Sunday, so I'm good to go. And then I have my daughter who wants to do stuff on Sunday, so I was like, okay, once again, every day of the week. But that's what it is, and you know what? I enjoy doing the evening catch up with you guys a lot, a lot. This is out of all the things I do, I might not make a lot because I'm demonetized and we don't have a huge audience, but at the same time, I absolutely love doing this more than any of the other stuff. And the games are a fun distraction. You know what I mean? All right. You shared it to your Facebook and your Instagram. Which one? This one or the Bible? By the way, LOL, the captioning said broken Patreon. Okay. So after this, about an hour after we're done, it's 9 o'clock my time. Uh, no, 8 o'clock. Sorry, it'll be 8 o'clock my time. Right now it's 6. So 2 hours from now, we'll be doing the Patriot Bible chat. We're starting a Revelation seminar from Pastor Lee Vinden. If you were around or caught the It's All About Jesus seminar, this is similar, but it's all about revelation, and I believe it's going to be amazing. So we're going to be doing that every single night except for Sunday and Friday. We might be doing it Friday. But right now, just imagine every weekday night and definitely on Saturday. All right? Cool. We're doing that pretty soon after we're done here. So check that out. It's already scheduled if you want to, if that interests you. Other than that, I was supposed to get some lab work done today, but that was a whole fiasco. Apparently, it was at a different hospital or a different lab than the one that I went to, and they had to get a reservation, and it's like 2 weeks out, and they don't have any scheduling. And so it was I hate having to do a 12-hour fast for nothing. you know, Pain in the ass. Did you get the flyer done? No, bro, I haven't gotten nothing done. I made the thumbnail. Well, I didn't make the thumbnail. I found a thumbnail. I put it together. I haven't been able to do much else. So it's definitely going to be word of mouth kind of thing. It'll probably be a small thing. It's okay. It is what it is. Definitely tell your friends about it if you're interested. I wish I had, Broken Patriot. I don't even know how to do a flyer, to be honest. So if you know how to do that and you wanted to do that, I mean, I'd give you reins. If don't feel like I'm asking you to do it though. So only do it if you want to do it. But um, yeah. All right. It's Monday. What's going on in the news today? Well, before I get to this story, I do remember we were over at our neighbor's house, and she always has the TV on. And one night she was watching the news, and a news story came up that said 24 governors are vowing to fight the mandate put in place by Sniffy Joe over here. And I was like, wow, they worded that weird. Didn't they word that strange? 24? 24 governors are vowing to fight Biden's mandate. Well, that doesn't sound like a whole hell of a lot, does it? Not half the country's governors. And of course, they're also saying 24 Republican governors. You see? No. That was local news. Obviously, they're owned by a corporate, but I just found that hilarious. 24 instead of 24. Well, it's more than that now. More than half of the states are now vowing to fight this mandate. 27 Republican governors or attorney generals have vowed to fight the latest executive order issued by President Biden, mandating that over 80 million private employees receive the sniffle shot and undergo weekly testing, or their employer will be fined. The executive order directs the U.S. Department of Labor Office and Safety and Health Administration to require private businesses, we already know what it does, if you have more than 100 employees, you have to mandate your employees get the shot, or you'll get fined. And if they don't want to get the shot, they have to undergo weekly testing. Noncompliance would result in fines of $14,000 per violation. The governors who expressed opposition includes those from Arizona, Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Ohio, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, West Virginia, and Wyoming. There's a few states I'm surprised not to see on here. Republican attorney generals from states with Democratic governors who also vowed to fight include Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron and Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Laudry. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who Biden has sparred over the mask mandates and the sniffle shot passports, said Florida would fight back. When you have a president like Biden issuing unconstitutional edicts against the American people, we have a responsibility to stand up for the Constitution and fight back. And we are doing that in the state of Florida, he said. This is a president who has acknowledged in the past he does not have the authority to force this on anybody. And that is true. President Biden has come out many times saying that he doesn't have the authority. And what he means by that is he can't put out a mandate by himself. He can't say, as president, you all are getting your shot. No, what he's doing is he's mandating it through somebody else. Oh, I'm not doing it. The companies will be doing it. Yeah, but they're doing it at your direction with a fine that if they don't follow your direction, they're going to have to pay money. So technically, it's still against the Constitution. All right. Anyway, he said that he wouldn't force it on anybody, and this order would result potentially in millions of Americans losing their jobs. Texas, which is already embroiled in several lawsuits with the Biden administration, vowed to sue. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said after hearing Biden's announcement that Texas is already working to halt this power grab. The Attorney General of Texas, Ken Paxton, said Texas would be suing the Biden administration very soon. Missouri Governor Mike Parson said OSHA can't dictate personal health care decisions for Missourians. Missouri is not under OSHA's state plan. The Parson will not allow state employees to be used to enforce this unconstitutional action. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster vowed to fight Biden, saying the American dream has turned into a nightmare under President Biden and the radical Democrats. They have declared that war against capitalism, thumbed their noses at the Constitution, and empowered our enemies abroad. Rest assured, we will fight them to the gates of hell. Protect the liberty and livelihood of every South Carolinian. Wow. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey said governors don't report to Joe Biden. Governors don't report to the federal government. The states created the federal government, and Joe Biden has stepped out of his reach, Ducey said. These mandates are outrageous. They will never stand up in court. We must and will push back. Wow. Go Ducey. I hope he stands up. He's one of these people, I signed for his recall twice. I'm curious how that one's going to pan out. Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita indicated he is working with a group of AGs to file a lawsuit. My team and I, along with other like-minded attorney general, are reviewing all legal action on how to stand against these authoritarian actions of the Biden administration, he said in a statement. The Republican National Committee also announced it was suing to protect Americans and their liberties if proposed rule change were to go into effect. In response to the Republican pushback, the White House senior advisor Cedric Richmond, a former Democratic congressman from Louisiana, told CNN the White House expected the opposition. He said those governors that stand in the way, I think it was very clear from the president's tone today that he will run over them. Good fucking luck. And it's important. It's not for political purposes. It's to save lives of American people. That's exactly what it is. 100%. And so we won't let one or two individuals stand in the way. One or two, I'm talking like 27 right now. We will always err on the side of protecting the American people. Protecting the American people by changing their DNA and giving them something that they may or may not need and something that may or may not work. Gotta love that shit. I will try to take a screenshot when you start up the show tonight. All right, cool. Appreciate it, Broken Patriot. Guess it's that easy. Do you have a 4K video downloader? You should get that. If you don't, it's free. And guess who's back? Back again. Trump. on 2024 run. I don't think we're going to have a choice. Former President Trump, asked whether he would run for the White House again in 2024, said President Joe Biden's incompetence is forcing the decision that he will make. I don't know. There's a part of me that wants somebody different but at the same time, I know this snake in the grass, right? I know what he's about. There's part of me that would like to make sure that we get Joe out of there. And there's part of me that thinks he might be able to do it, but there's a lot of me that says it's all figured out anyway. They've already, done all the votes. Can I say that, YouTube? Hopefully not. I mean, they love collecting votes. As many votes as they can collect. They collect them as much as they can from everywhere, which is great. You should be able to vote. Everybody should be able to vote twice, maybe 3 times. Citing Biden's catastrophic withdrawal from Afghanistan, which Trump called the greatest embarrassment in the history of our country, Trump said the country is getting to a point where we really don't have a choice but to launch another campaign. It'll be an interesting 2024, or actually, I guess it'd be 2023 is when all the stuff happens. It's disgraceful, he told Fox News. When you look at Afghanistan, actually, no, 2024. When you look at Afghanistan and what happened and the deaths for no reason, just for no reason. Biden is an incompetent person and his administration is divisive, Trump added, referring to Biden's recent employer shot mandate. They keep telling everyone how they want to get together, but to be inclusive, they're not inclusive, he explained. They are very, very dividing and divisive. They are true. That is true. We got to protect everybody's feelings and everybody's rights. But if you disagree with them, boy, they'll fight you. Equality, get along with everybody. Everybody has the right to their own opinion unless it doesn't match yours. Diversity and all that shit. Trump has hinted at another presidential run several times, but not officially announced anything. Over the weekend, he was asked by a group of law enforcement officials at an event honoring the 20th anniversary of 9/11 about another potential campaign, to which Trump reportedly replied, "I think you're gonna be happy." Ooh. In June, Trump said that he had made up his mind whether to run, but wouldn't announce until the time was right. Where are you in the process? Or let me ask you this without giving the answer. Have you made up your mind? Fox News' Sean Hannity asked Trump. Yes, he replied. Yeah, I remember that interview. He had decided if he was going to run or not, but wasn't going to announce it. Obviously, they're not going to announce it. They're going to wait until it's campaign season. They'll probably even let a few other people announce that they're going to run first. However, a recent poll found that the GOP voters are divided over whether they would support Trump again if he did launch another campaign for a presidential bid. Asked whether they would pick Trump to top the GOP ticket in 2024, 51% said yes, but 48% said that they believe a different candidate would be better for the success of the Republican Party. And that's kind of where I was just at. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know. I think there are things in the works that could change. We have the Arizona audit going on. We have a few other states doing their own audits. Depending on the outcome of those, if those come back in Trump's favor, good news. Obviously, he's not president. He's not going to be president unless he runs again in 2024. And then if he legitimately wins, right? But if the audits come back with bad news for Biden, I would imagine that number, 51% of Republicans, is going to jump up. DeSantis, Abbott? No, here's the thing. Governors are technically constitutionally more powerful than the president. The president is, the federal government is supposed to just be for foreign shit. What do you call it? Talking with other countries. But, yeah, they've overreached quite a bit. Let's move on before I stumble over even more words. You take a weekend off, and I tell you can't talk worth crap. I would definitely rather to see DeSantis and Abbott stay as a governor, though. We need more governors like them. And I am worried that, we've been talking about moving to Texas for a good long time. What happens if we move to Texas and they get a new governor, and this governor is the exact opposite as DeSantis? You know what I mean? Or Abbott? No, it'd be Abbott. Yeah. Members of Congress, staffers, and federal judges are exempt from the Biden shot mandate. Oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? It's the same thing that happened during Obamacare. You remember Obamacare? They made themselves exempt from Obamacare, so they would not have to offer Obamacare to their employers or employees because they all have private businesses, I'm sure. And now, members of Congress and staffers and federal judges don't have to get the shot if they don't want it. Interesting how they always put a little loophole for themselves in these bills. Not only do I believe that we should have term limits, but I don't think anybody should be able to exempt themselves from anything, especially a law that they wrote. That is just disgusting. What's up, Armed Archangel? How you doing? Check that one out. I'm gonna have to copy that. No, I already got this one. I think I already got that one. You don't think Texas will allow it? Maybe not. Members of Congress, the federal court system, and their staffers are exempt. Biden's new rule requires all federal employees to get the shot and forces employers with more than 100 employees to either mandate it or have weekly testing. However, the mandate does not apply to the legislative or judicial branches of the government. It was also reported that last week, more than 600,000 U.S. state postal service employers, I'm sorry, 600,000 United States Postal Service employees would be exempt from the mandate. However, the Biden administration clarified that USPS, will be subject to the mandate since it is an employer with more than 100 employees. USPS is not included in the executive order requiring the shot of federal employees. USPS has a separate statutory scheme, and it's traditionally independent of federal personnel actions like this, a Biden administration official explained. That's interesting. I didn't know that. That said, the USPS is strongly encouraging to comply. Obviously, they would. Also, the Labor Department of Occupational Safety and Health Administration will cover USPS through the emergency temporary standards, meaning that the postal workers will be subject to the shot or testing policy announced today. So they still have to get it, but they won't get the fine, I suppose, right? In April, House Speaker Pelosi said that she would not mandate the shot for lawmakers out of concerns for privacy. How is it for privacy? So here's the thing, we can't require someone to get the shot. That's just not what we can do, she said at the time. It's a matter of privacy to know who is or who isn't, she continued. I can't go to the Capitol physician and say, give me the names of people who aren't gotten the shot so I can go and encourage them to do so, or make it known to others to encourage them to get the shot. Several states have already vowed to sue the Biden administration. We already know that. And we already read all that too. So we're going to get through this pretty quick. California professor. I'm surprised. California professor, that's an oxymoron right there, is going to sue over the shot mandate, says he has natural immunity. This is a story I believe shared by Irish in the Discord. I feel like I'm being treated unequally, Aaron said. Professor of psychiatry and human behavior at the University of California, Irvine, said SBG reported. If my immunity is as good, indeed very likely better than that conferred by the shot, then there doesn't seem to be any rational basis for discriminating against my form of immunity and requiring me to get a different form of immunity, Aaron said. Serves as a director of UCI Medical Ethics Program, and it's a member of the UC Office of the President Critical Care Bioethics Working Group. That he contracted the sniffles in July of 2020 and has raised concerns over the shot mandate to school leaders. That was a short one. Also shared by Irish, I believe. Running for Congress, don't need the shot. Yeah. Are you running for Congress, Gerald? We all should run for Congress. It's not a bad idea, to be honest. I've actually thought about running for a governor and immediately seceding. All right, so there's a video here. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but America's top sniffle doctor, Dr. Fauci, warns that the shots could make the sniffles worse. But I'm not going to say anything else. Let's listen to him.
Moving on to vaccines. There are at least 8 candidate COVID-19 vaccines in clinical development. The NIH has been collaborating with a number of pharmaceutical companies at various stages of. I will describe one very.
Sorry, let me restart that.
Which is not the least 8 candidate COVID-19 vaccines in clinical development. The NIH has been collaborating with a number of pharmaceutical companies at various stages of development. I will describe one very briefly, which is not the only one, but one that we have been involved in heavily developing with Moderna. It's a messenger RNA platform. You might recall.
Let me preface this. This is an older clip. Okay? Older clip.
In this committee, that in January of this year, I said that it would take about 1 year to 18 months if we were successful in developing a vaccine. The NIH trial moved very quickly. On January 10th, the sequence was known. On January the 11th, the Vaccine Research Center met to develop a plan. On the 14th of January, we officially started the vaccine development. 62 days later, we are now in phase 1 clinical trial with the 2 doses already fully enrolled. There will be animal safety. The phase 1 will directly go into phase 2-3 in late spring and early summer. And if we are successful, we hope to know that in the late fall and early winter. There are some important issues, however, in COVID-19 vaccine development. We have many candidates and hope to have multiple winners. In other words, it's multiple shots on goal. This will be important because this will be good for global availability if we have more than one successful candidate. We also, as the chairman mentioned, will be producing vaccine at risk, which means we'll be investigating considerable resources in developing doses even before we know any given candidate or candidate's work. I must warn that there's also the possibility of negative consequences.
Right here.
Where
Negative
certain
consequences
vaccines can actually enhance the negative effect of the infection. The big unknown is efficacy. Will it be present or absent, and how durable will it be?
All right. United States top sniffle doctor has warned prototype sniffle shots could end up making the sniffle patients get sicker if they contract it. This was last year. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I will put it in the chat if you guys are interested in this. This is old news. Yeah, it does. I apologize for the audio, Broken Patriot. I turned it all the way up. I muted myself. Hopefully you guys heard that. And I don't really want to repeat it because if I say it, I'm going to get in trouble. Armed Archangel can't shake the wiggle. The cough is getting worse daily. Did you get the sniffles? Man, I hope you get better. I know a friend of mine had recently got it, and he was down for quite a while. So make sure you're... oh, yeah, that's right. You were asking about... I have a bad memory. I'm sorry, Armed Archangel. I remember now that you were asking about remedies and stuff like that to make the symptoms a little bit better. Okay. Move on. FDA official. What? I don't know where that's coming from. Okay, found it. Stopped it. FDA official confirms they resigned over Biden's booster shot plan. Two top Food and Drug Administration officials who recently resigned said they did so because they disagreed with the Biden administration's push to roll out booster shots. Marianne Gruber, director of the FDA's Office of Shot Research and Review, and her deputy director, Phil Krause, said they plan to leave the agency in October and November, respectively, after failing to reach an agreement with the White House on its booster strategy. Careful. Here's the problem. You're going to leave. They're just going to put in some yes men. Okay, so you're not responsible, but couldn't you try? I don't know what they can do and what they can't do, to be honest. Careful and public scrutiny over the evolving data will be needed to assure that decisions about boosting are informed by reliable science more than by politics. Gruber and Krauss joined several other health experts and wrote that in Lancet. Excuse me. The experts suggested there is no evidence to support booster shots and warned that Biden's administration officials were primarily relying on confounding and selective reporting to justify it. Widespread boosting should be undertaken only if there is clear evidence that it is appropriate, the authors wrote, arguing that shots should not be allocated to the unshotted populations instead. Wait, hold up. The authors wrote arguing that shots should be allocated. Okay. So instead of getting your boosters, because we have all these shots, there's a lot of people that don't want to get them. But instead of getting your booster, we need to save those for people who haven't gotten it at all. Okay. Jeff Zients, a member of Biden's sniffle team, defended the booster timeline, claiming it's widely supported by the nation's leading puppet health officials. It is in their clinical judgment that it is time to prepare Americans for a booster shot. We announce our approach to stay ahead of the sniffles and to be transparent on the latest data, he said in a statement. FDA employees familiar with Gruber and Krauss' decision to step down said Biden's booster strategy has triggered a mutiny in the agency from employees who agree that Biden is jumping the gun. This is the administration's booster plan if it wasn't the FDA's booster plan. So this is Joe Biden's plan, not the FDA. I don't trust the FDA. I trust Biden probably less. Said Paul Offit, a university, yada, yada, yada. The administration has kind of backed themselves up against the wall a little bit here. Okay. So they're gone. I did. You. And here's the story that I was talking to you about. No, not your audio. Yeah, I know his audio. I turned it up as loud as I could and I muted myself, Broken Pete. Some of your coffee, it cures everything. I know, it was just really low volume. All right. Hospital to stop delivering babies after 30 staffers quit over the shot mandate. Interesting. How do you stop delivering? I'm sorry, lady. I know it's hanging half out of your vagina, but I apologize. You're going to have to go somewhere else to have that thing. Let's see if
A
there's any
hospital
sound.
in upstate New York will stop delivering babies later this month after 30 staffers quit in protest of the facility's COVID-19 vaccine mandate. Lewis County Health System CEO Gerald Kayer announced at a press conference on Friday that Lewis County General Hospital will be, quote, unable to safely staff its maternity department beginning September 25th. Kayer said, quote, the number of resignations received leaves us no choice but to pause delivering babies at Lewis County General Hospital. The resignations came after the hospital 2 weeks ago revised its emergency regulation requiring vaccines for employees, taking away the option for a religious exemption. Medical exemptions, however, are still permitted.
There you go. Hopefully that won't get me in trouble. Hospital in upstate New York stopped delivering babies after 30 staffers quit. Lewis County Health System CEO Gerald Kayer announced at a press conference on Friday that Lewis County General Hospital will be unable to safely staff its maternity department beginning September 25th. The number of resignations received leaves us no choice but to pause delivering babies at Lewis County General Hospital. The resignations came after the hospital 2 weeks ago revised its emergency regulation requiring the shot for employees, taking away their option for a religious exemption. Medical exemptions are still permitted. The policy changed following an announcement from then New York Governor Cuomo that said all healthcare workers in the state must be at least partially shotted against the sniffles. Oh, yeah, so if it requires 2 shots and you only take 1, I guess you're good to go. So you gotta love the science. You need 2, but they're okay with it if they only have 1 because you complied at least one time. Hold up. He said that 464 individuals in the Lewis County Health System are shotted and a 73% shot rate for its employees. There are still, however, 165 individuals who are not shotted and have not yet signaled what their plans are as the September 27th deadline to receive the first shot inches closer. So you have 30 employees who have already resigned. I think they should have waited to get fired, but they've already resigned, leaving the hospital not able to deliver babies, which pays good. And now you have another 165 individuals who have not gotten it and have not yet said if they will or not. And I would say probably more than 50% of those will not. So that's going to be even more. That's 160. That's a lot. 3 employees have been approved for medical exemptions, and 12 had said they plan to present a medical exemption. Kayer said that adding the hospital is still waiting to view that documentation. Kayer warned that other clinical departments in the hospital are at risk because of the number of unshotted individuals working in those departments. We as employees have an obligation not to put those we care for, our coworkers, at risk, he added. Yeah. You gotta love it how they play to your emotions. You don't want to hurt grandma. I mean, even the military vets, Irish USMC vet has gotten a thing. I don't remember if it was in the mail or phone call or what, but basically asking him to serve his country once again. We need you to serve, Irish. You already served your country once. Serve it one more time and get that shot. Are you joking? The CEO said all hospital employees, including members of the medical and nursing staff, contract staff, volunteers, and students, are required to abide by the mandate. Since the mandate was announced, 30 additional employees from the hospital have gotten the shot, according to Kayer. The sniffles is already affecting hospital employees, according to Kayer. 5 individuals are in quarantine, 5 others are in isolation, and 4 community members are hospitalized. A whole 4? Wow. The controversy at the New York hospital come amid nationwide spikes in the sniffle cases, driven largely by a highly contagious Delta variant, which is now dominant strain in the U.S. So everything is the Delta. Funny, it's so contagious. I know a lot of people are getting it. I don't know why I'm not getting it. You know what I mean? I'm happy I'm not getting it. I might get it when I go on my trip. U-Band Dark, brown container with a black top. Yeah, I tried that once. My local grocery store carries U-Band too, fries. And I tried it, and I had so much caffeine running through my veins that I felt jittery, and I did not like it. So I gave Broken Patriot the rest of that because I was like, I can't handle that. That's like, have you ever had Black Death coffee? I think it was early 2000s when I first saw that. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I want Black Death coffee. It has basically the same amount of caffeine in it. I disagree. I think they did good. They did not give the hospital time to plan for anything. Yeah, okay. All right. I see your point. Not bad. Media prevented from speaking to Afghan evacuees at Fort Bliss. Why? Echoing earlier bans that prevented media from observing the conditions at detention centers for illegal immigrants, as well as the conditions of the January 6th political dissidents, the Biden administration, you gotta love the most transparent government in history, Biden administration allowed a carefully curated glimpse at the military base housing recent Afghan evacuees, but it refused to allow media to speak to the detainees about the conditions or other circumstances leading to their evacuation following President Biden's failed withdrawal. I guess this is in America. Well, at least they're used to the desert. But it refused to, every Afghan who is here with us has endured a harrowing journey, and they are now faced with the very real challenges of acclimating with life in the United States, Liz Grayson, a senior State Department official, told reporters. Yet well, how about you ask them, hey, would you like to speak to the media? And see which ones say yes. Yet many questions linger about how the government is caring for the refugees and vetting them. The 3-hour tour at Fort Bliss Army Base in El Paso, Texas, was the first time the media has been granted broad access to one of the 8 U.S. military installations housing Afghans. But even so, reporters, including those with the Associated Press, were not allowed to talk with any evacuees or spend more than a few minutes in areas where they are gathered, with military officials citing privacy concerns. Nearly 10,000 Afghan evacuees are staying at the base while they undergo medical and security checks before being resettled in the United States. The operation was described by officials at the Department of Homeland Security and Department of State as historic and unprecedented effort to facilitate the relocation of a huge number of refugees in less than a month's time. On Friday, Afghan children with soccer balls, and yeah, they played outside. All right, so I mean, it looks like they're having a good time. Families walk down a dirt road with stacks of plastic food containers piled under their chins and Coca-Cola cans under their arms, getting them fat as soon as they get to America. One girl was still wearing dirty clothes, cried in the middle of the road after her food spilled, and soldiers attempted to help her. Okay. Inside the containers, which refugees have spent around 15 minutes in line for in the blistering sun, were traditional Afghan meals of basmati rice and hearty stew. All right. I don't think I need to read more of this, do I? After their release from the base, they will be aided by resettlement agencies in charge of placing the refugees. The agency gives priority to places where the refugees either have family already in the United States or where the Afghan immigrant communities with the resources to help them start a new life in a foreign land. Those with American citizenship or green cards are able to leave once arriving at the base, according to the State Department. If other evacuees who release is dependent on completing health protocols mandated by the Centers for Disease Control. It's funny how we have mandates for the CDC with this, but not for the southern border. Anyway, they can choose to leave prior to the full resettlement period that may be used. Okay, hold on. If other evacuees who release is dependent on completing health protocols mandated by the CDC choose to leave prior to the full resettlement period, that may be used against them. So far, no one at Fort Bliss has been released for resettlement, and the Pentagon has said all evacuees are tested for the sniffles upon arrival. The Biden administration is also using the base to house thousands of immigrant children, most from Central America, who have been crossing the U.S.-Mexico border in record numbers. Yep. Without adults. Well, that'll be fun. We have a whole bunch of, I don't know, fighting age Afghan men and women and children, I'm sure, with a whole bunch of minor Mexicans and Central American kids. What possibly could go wrong? The children are housed there until they can be reunited with relatives already in the U.S. or with a sponsor. I disagree. Let's see. Look like the stores will have to start selling goat meat now. They already do. At least around me. I see goat meat all the time. Goat cheese. I don't like goat. I've had goat. Goat is kosher. Which, if you didn't know, Muslims are kosher, same as Jews, and same as Seventh-day Adventists. Although I do partake in some pepperoni on my pizza once in a while, which is pork. If apparently people don't know what all pork is. I was surprised. I was having this conversation with Irish. I was like, "Yeah, I don't really eat pork, but I do every once in a while. Sometimes I'll have a bacon burger, and of course, if I get a pizza, I like a pepperoni pizza." He's like, "Well, pepperoni pizza ain't bad. It doesn't have any pork in it." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah. What do you think pepperoni is, bro? Pepperoni is pork. I mean, they make turkey pepperoni, but if you get it from a chain restaurant, that's pork." A Clinton judge blocks an Iowa law preventing schools from imposing mandates. A federal judge on Monday ordered the state of Iowa to immediately halt enforcement of the law that prevents school boards from ordering masks to be worn. Judge Robert Pratt, an appointee, claimed in an order signed Monday that the law passed in May substantially increases the risk of several children with health conditions of contracting the sniffles. Pratt, excuse me. Pratt said he has looked into the data on the effectiveness of masks to reduce the spread of the sniffles and agrees with the recommendations from the CDC and the American Academy of Pediatrics on wearing masks in schools. Wow. because plaintiffs have shown that Iowa Code Section 280.31's ban on mask mandates in schools substantially increases their risk of contracting the sniffles that causes the sniffles, 19, and that due to their various medical conditions, they are at an increased risk of severe illness or death. Plaintiffs have demonstrated that the irreparable harm exists, he wrote. His order said Governor Kim Reynolds and Iowa Department of Education Director Anna Lebo cannot enforce the new law banning local school districts from using their discretion to mandate masks for their students, staff, teachers, and visitors. It should be. It looks like I'm lagging quite a bit. Oh, it does. It says sending data to DLive. Well, crap. I don't know how many people were watching on DLive. I can't just restart that, by the way. All right. Well, it still oh, no, it shows me online on DLive now. Go back and check again. That could just be a buffering thing. Unfortunately, I can't do a darn thing about it normally. All right. Half of them will drive taxis in the cities. Wonder how many are going to be driving without a license. Yeah. No, they're all going to get their paperwork. Dude, did you know that illegal immigrants, people who cross the border illegally, who then steal somebody's personal identification so they can get a job, can not only get unemployment, and you would think that, oh, okay, they're getting unemployment under their stolen identity, right? No, they're getting unemployment with their real identity. When you call unemployment, they actually have an option. You know, they like press 1 if this, press 2 if that. They have an option if you're an illegal immigrant that's recently been unemployed, hit this button. Couldn't believe it. All right. His order says Kim Reynolds and Iowa Department of Education Director Ann Lebo cannot enforce the new law. Okay. He issued a temporary restraining order to be in effect immediately. It remains in effect until the court issues an order for a preliminary injunction. 11 parents and the Arc of Iowa, a left-wing activist group that lobbies on behalf of those with intellectual and development disabilities, sued the state on September 3rd. Reynolds said in a statement that the judge unilaterally overturned a state law, ignored the decision by our elected legislator, and took away parents' ability to decide what's best for their child. She said the state will appeal and exercise every legal option we have to uphold state law and defend the rights and liberties afforded to any American citizen protected by our Constitution. Pratt pointed out that it's been almost 40 years since the U.S. Supreme Court recognized that regardless of citizenship status, denying school-age children a free public education violates the U.S. Constitution. Once again, I'm pretty sure nowhere that I've ever read in the U.S. Constitution does it say that everybody is granted the right of an education. You know what? I'm gonna have to look that up. If anybody knows about it now, let me know in the chat. But I'm gonna have to look this up. How are they getting that the Constitution, that it's constitutional that you get a free education? However, most accommodations afforded by the education system, including remote homebound education when necessary, have not impacted the rights of other students as the mask mandates. Powerful teacher unions as another bargaining chip to leverage in their political toolbox, even though they create extra work for the affected teachers who are obligated now to enforce the masking policies. Pratt claimed that parents want Iowa school districts to have the opportunity to comply with federal law and ensure that each child receives an education in the least restrictive and the most integrated environment, which without jeopardizing their lives or safety. Here's the thing. It's just they're making it so you can't have the mandate. If your parent buys into the sniffles, hook, line, and sinker, and wants you to wear a mask at school, guess what? You'll be wearing the mask at school. Nobody's going to tell you to take the mask off at school, right? It's up to you. It's just saying the school can't mandate it for kids who parents don't want them to wear the mask. And if that upsets the person wearing the mask, who's obviously probably gotten the shot already, which then you would think that you'd be safe, because didn't Joe Biden say that if you get the shot, you won't get sick, you won't get hospitalized, right? So, I mean, he would never lie to the American public. Where's my damn sarcasm? He would never lie to the American public. So, definitely, it shouldn't be no problem. All right, let's move on. this button and ICE will be right there to send your ass home. LOL. This is what it should say. It should. Yeah. When you call in for unemployment as an illegal immigrant, it should be like, hey, come on in and we'll give you your money in physical form. You know, we got a check here. You have to pick it up. That's what it should be. Isn't that how they were catching like car thieves or whatever? I was pissed. It took 2 months to pay me out because of some a-hole who tried to file my unemployment from Texas. Hit 1 for English, 2 to disconnect this call until you learn English. Yes! You know what, Gerald? I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to put it over here in this tab. Just a blank tab. And I'm gonna put that on a list. I don't know if I want to do anything with it, but I'm gonna put it on a list of possible T-shirt ideas. I love that shit. Gerald needs to redo all American automated phone systems. Yep, I liked it that much. Facebook exempts millions of elite users from content moderation. So apparently, if you're somebody special, you don't have to worry about saying sniffles or darfing. Facebook reportedly exempted millions of high-profile elite users, including celebrities and politicians, from its content moderation policies. Not Trump. He's a politician, or was. He took away his ability to speak. The social media giant created a program known as Crosscheck or XCheck that shielded public figures from the company's rules banning harassment and incitement to violence. Wow. According to the internal documents obtained by the journal. For example, Brazilian soccer player, he's just a fucking soccer player, this dude, was able to post the nude photos of a woman who accused him of rape because he had been exempted from the content moderation screening that would have prevented him from posting them in the first place. What? This dude is accused of raping this lady and then posted a picture of her nakedness on Facebook and still has an account? The XCheck program also included most government officials and candidates running for office. The favoritism showed to the elite users who were whitelisted was widespread and not publicly defensible, according to a new internal review the company conducted itself. We are not actually doing what we're doing publicly, the confidential review said, adding that while whitelisting policy was a breach of trust. Unlike the rest of our communities, people can violate our standards without any consequences, the review continued. However, Facebook continued to deny the importance of XCheck, telling its independent oversight board in June that its elite program was used only in a small number of decisions. By 2020, XCheck had nearly 5.8 million elite users. How is that a small number? 5.8? That's like that's like a state. This special program also enrolled the help of independent fact checker partners. Facebook would regularly ask these sites to go back and change their findings on posts from high-profile accounts, including those that spread misinformation. A December memo from Facebook data scientists put it this way: Facebook routinely makes exceptions for powerful actors. Meanwhile, users who are not part of Facebook's exclusive list are censored and deplatformed for violating the site's policies. Yep. Rules for thee, not for me. Yeah, what a loser. Yeah. FBI fires lead agent in Whitmer kidnapping case. Okay. It's pretty short. FBI agent credited with foiling Governor Gretchen Whitmer's kidnapping plot no longer works for the agency after he was charged with allegedly smashing his wife's head into a nightstand and choking her after a swinger sex party. I remember reading about this. So he got fired. Okay. The Detroit News first reported the firing of former Special Agent Richard Trask, 39, who took the public face of the investigation, testifying in court. However, the FBI dropped Trask as a witness after social media posts calling former President Donald Trump a douchebag and other expletives surfaced. The firing is another blow to the credibility of at least a dozen confidential informants planted within the Whitmer kidnapping plot. Dude, they planted over 12 people. I think there was like, what, 1 or 2 normal people that actually fell for it. That's like entrapment. I hope they get out. The firing is another blow to the credibility of at least a dozen confidential informants planted within the Whitmer kidnapping plot. Some who allegedly hatched the plan, and another who rose to a second in command in the group. You know, it's a good way to raise public awareness of your candidate. Maybe they're trying to get her reelected. I don't know. But they definitely tried to make her look like a victim. Found a couple crazies and then entrapped them. In March, prosecutors also indicted an informant. In March, prosecutors also indicated an informant the Detroit News reported helped the FBI infiltrate the alleged conspiracy. Five people are scheduled to stand trial on October 2nd. We had they said over 12 moles. Dude, you guys had a group of 17 people and 12 of them were feds. The defendants, however, maintain the government set them up. One defense attorney alleges an FBI agent told a paid confidential informant to lie, delete messages between them, and implicate an innocent third party. Yeah, if you have those records, that's good. The deceit continues to blur the line between who was an FBI agent, confidential informant, or an extremist, and which group fueled the conspiracy. Ty Garbin, 25, has been the only alleged extremist to plead guilty to the plot and was sentenced to 6 years and 3 months in prison. Well, he should have waited because he might have been able to get off. All right, last one. Texas to award border wall contract in next couple of weeks. So it looks like the border wall is going to start getting put together in Texas. It plans to award a contract to finish the completion of the southern border wall as early as this week, according to the Washington Examiner. Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced earlier this year that the state would raise its own money to complete the more than 700 miles of border wall along Texas' border with Mexico, since President Joe Biden shut down the project at the start of his term. According to the Texas Facilities Commission, the state has more than $1 billion in its ready to allocate to the wall's construction. Dude, just build the wall completely around Texas at this point. The commission has selected engineering from Michael Barker International of Pennsylvania design firm Hewitt Zollers of Dallas to take on the project. The commissioner must vote to finalize the decision before the state can officially award the contract. The commissioner plans to hold the vote by mid-September. Both of the companies chosen to complete the border wall helped border wall projects under previous presidential administrations. Though the state legislature had pledged to spend about $750 million on the wall, it also has raised a significant amount of money for the project through private donations. As of August, donations to the project have soared to more than $54 million, according to Abbott's fundraising website. We are grateful for the outpouring of support from across our state and the entire country as Texas fills the gap created by President Biden and steps up to secure our southern border, Abbott's press secretary said in a statement. Cartels and smugglers are profiting off the chaos as the overwhelming and divert our nation's resources so they can smuggle drugs, weapons, criminals, and other contraband across the border. While the Biden administration may not prioritize the sovereignty of our nation or the safety of our people, Americans clearly do. All right. What do cue balls and Mexicans have in common? I don't know. Gerald hit me. I might not read it depending on if I think I'm going to get in trouble for it. Okay, yeah, definitely not going to read that, but pretty funny. All right, guys, I'm going to end it a little bit early just because I have to set up the next stream and I want to have a little bit of time to go to the restroom and do some other things, maybe have a little bit of dinner. But please check us out for the Patriot Bible Chat. We're starting the Revelation Seminar with Pastor Lee Venden. It is a video that we're going to be watching, but we will be talking about it and possibly doing our own research if we find something interesting enough to do our own research with. I won't know if that's the case until we get to that because I haven't seen it before. This will be the first time that I've watched it as well. So I hope to see you all over there. We also do now, we're affiliated. We do have an affiliate link for Amazon now, right, Riddle? And I don't believe that it has to be something that I post in order for it to happen. I believe that if you think it's one of those things that if you buy something on Amazon, even if I didn't post it, as long as you use my link to go visit Amazon, I'd still get a kickback. So we're trying to implement that. Tell me if you guys are into that. I kind of want to figure out a way that in the descriptions I can have certain things that I've personally bought from Amazon or used that you can buy on Amazon. And then I'll probably talk. I don't want to talk about it every end of every episode, but I am thinking about putting that on there. And it's a way to support the channel without spending any extra money that you were not already going to spend, unless you don't shop at Amazon. And there's that. Oh, I have to make a custom link for the item. Oh, for each item? Oh, shit. All right. Well, it's going to be a small list, apparently. All right. Down in the descriptions, though, are a whole bunch of different links. So if this is one of your first times checking my channel out, please go look at those. We have all the places to follow me. It's very important. If you like this kind of content enough to watch me again, make sure you're following me on all the social media so that if I have to move channels or whatever, you know where I'm at. Including the Discord. We do have a Discord community, and it's a pretty good one where we share stories and also other good deals that we find out there and stuff like that, and just hang out. So check out the Discord. It's a great place. We have all the causes I believe in and support with my own money. So if you need something to do with extra money and, you've been weighing on your heart to support a cause, these are the causes I support. We have the PH Association. That's pulmonary hypertension. That is the disease that I currently live with and will probably die from, because we all know the CDC, or not the CDC, the big pharma is never going to cure that shit. So they did prolong my life on very expensive medication that I'll be taking for the rest of my life. Big surprise. But yeah, that's why the PH Association is down there. We have the GOA, Gun Owners of America. We have ProjectRecover.org, an organization that goes out and looks for lost service members and returns the remains to their families. And we have Rally Point Irish. My good friend Irish USMC vet is got a GoFundMe set up. He's trying to raise money to get some land in Tennessee where vets can stay room and board free while learning new skills like farming, blacksmithing, and gunsmithing. So I donate 50% of all proceeds from this channel to that share, or that GoFundMe. So if you do decide to donate to this channel, just know that 50% of your donation to my channel goes to Rally Point Irish. If you want to donate to this channel, there are links down below to do that as well. Please don't feel obligated. However, if you want to help the channel without spending any extra money, eventually I'll have the Amazon links. But for right now, the biggest way is to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Sharing is the best one. Other than that, any other links down below? Nope, I believe that's it. So I'm going to head out of here. I will see you guys back hopefully within 1 hour. And we'll be doing the Revelation seminar by Pastor Lee Vinden. I hope to see you all there. If not, have a great night. I will see you tomorrow. Until then, make sure to keep that family close. Watch out for that government. And try to live as free as you can in the tyrannical world we find ourselves living in today. It's a crazy world. If it wasn't so terrifying, it'd be exciting, wouldn't it? I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.
Trailing my freedom, with a price on my head. Well, I said